Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Get to work with my wife. That's awesome. And I got a cool guest coming up later today as well. Now, the Olympics kind of wrapped up, but we got the Paralympics just getting started. This is Olympics for people who are paralyzed, or Paralympians is what they call them.
Sure, that's cool.
One of the Paralympians is a guy by the name of Mike Schultz, and we're excited to be chatting with Mike on the program today, and then he'll be in the Paralympics coming up next week. I'm almost positive it's next week. So anyway, we'll be chatting with him later in the program. Also got a lot of other fun stuff to get to as well. Stick around. That is all on the way. I've got a quote to get to first, though. John Stuart Mill says, "One person with a belief is equal to 99 who have only interests." John Stuart Mill. Right there's your quote for today. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
There are monthly subscriptions for razors and coffee and many other things, but this is the best monthly subscription ever. Ladies, listen up. Odiva has a monthly subscription for your monthly visitor. You know it's going to happen every month, and how many times have you been caught off guard? Odiva will send you a box discreetly each month with the products you want, with plans starting at less than $4 a month. Get a special offer right now at radiosavings.com, helping women prepare for their monthly visitor for less. Try it now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, March the 7th, so we got a couple of things going on today. National Be Heard Day is today.
Okay.
You're supposed to say, huh? It's also National Cereal Day today.
I like cereal. I
know
like
you
lots
do.
of kinds of cereal.
And National Crown of Roast Pork Day today. I don't know if I've had that. That sounds good, though. I like pork and roast. I also like cereal, and I like being heard. So today's a great day all around for me. Just a really good day. These are the several things that we are going to celebrate on this Wednesday, the 7th day of March.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now a breakthrough, safe and natural, non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which makes you happier. Just by drinking this special cup of coffee, many reported elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones recently told The Telegraph that he does not do drugs anymore, and his only vices now are coffee and cigarettes. He doesn't drink and doesn't do drugs anymore.
Oh, well, that's nice.
He has made it this far.
Yeah, I mean, it's kept him going. He might want to just
That's
keep
what I was
up
gonna
with what
say.
he was doing.
As much as I'm on board with, living the clean life, Keith, come on, are you sure you want to do this? That might be what's keeping you going. It's funny because the images of Keith Richards, when you see, he the way he's dressed, Johnny Depp said that's who he portrayed when he was being Captain Sparrow. Because they were like,
see that.
What is this character you're doing? He's like, I'm basically just doing Keith Richards. I was like, that's actually pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
We have a neighbor who met Keith Richards, it was his friend that met Keith Richards and sat with him in a bar at a hotel like all afternoon talking to him and had no clue who he was.
Really?
It wasn't until he told his daughter. He's like, I was with this British guy. His name is Keith, and he apparently everybody else knew him. Keith Richards, who is that? And she goes, from the Rolling Stones. He's like, I don't know who that is. So, he was a nice guy. He bought me some drinks. All right, coming up, we've got your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Unidentified 32-year-old man in Lisbon, Portugal, was arrested by a customs agent who found 2.2 pounds of cocaine and a pair of fake butt cheeks that he was wearing.
Oh, so he had the cocaine hidden in the butt cheeks.
He had some fake buttocks strapped on. The Tax and Customs Authority stopped the man at the airport when they determined he was under investigation by the National Anti-Narcotics Traffic Unit. A search of his person revealed fake buttocks cheeks and some cocaine stuffed inside. There's got to be a good crack joke here somewhere.
A search of his person. That is a sentence I never
search
have
of
the
his
opportunity
person.
to say.
You don't say that often. Police said the 40-year-old man, wait a minute, up here, a 40-year-old man who's suspected of being the recipient was also arrested. I was going to say up here it said he was 32. So 2 different guys detained on drug trafficking charges. And like I said, he was using fake butt cheeks. And there's got to be a good crack joke. But I'm going to just move on because I'm bigger than that and I'm better than that. No, I'm not. I'm just not quick enough. Thanks for listening. This is Your Brain on Drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Guess what movie was the number 1 movie last weekend again, Heidi?
What?
Oh, Black Panther, of course.
Oh.
It approaches $1 billion, by the way. Black Panther snagged $65.7 million. 3rd weekend of number 1, by the way. 3rd biggest 3rd weekend of all time, only behind Avatar, which made $69 million in 2010. It says Star Force Awakens came in at $90 million in 2016, and then globally, Black Panther has now made almost $900 million. So, do you think there will be a Black Panther 2?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I think so, too. And I've not yet seen it, although maybe this week will be the week. I've got a lot of friends that have seen it, and they absolutely love it.
We got to see Game Night.
We did. That was really good.
That was excellent.
Way better than I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to just be kind of cheesy. It was actually funny,
it was
like
fantastic.
all the way through.
Yeah, I loved it.
Quentin Tarantino has Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio signed on his new film called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So it's good that he went out with, out on a limb and tried some new actors. These unknowns. Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
You put those 2 on pretty much any movie, it's going to do well, even if it's terrible. So I think he was probably smart to do that. This is Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
You can go to college without student loans. Do you have a kid in 11th or 12th grade or in college? Let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstein, and I earned my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas and my master's from Prescott College with no loans. And I was an all-around average student. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. Take my first course for free that walks you through my journey by going to learnwithoutloans.com.
Now your scoop of the day, courtesy of FirstCupIsFree.com. Hunter College in New York is trying to evict a former student who refuses to leave her dorm. She's
read
32.
about this online.
32 years old. How long has she been there? Has she been there since?
It was insane. This story is nuts.
I guess if you got a free place to live, why would you want to leave, right? But okay, you're 32. It's time to move on. Go get a job.
It's not free, though. She owes them thousands and
Does
thousands
she really?
and thousands.
She must have found some sort of loophole, apparently. A pastry and donut delivery driver has been called a hero, Heidi. Hero. You know why?
Why?
They were stuck in traffic, and he was handing out free goodies to other stranded drivers. There was a winter storm that happened in the United Kingdom. John Gowing unloaded the treats from the back of his truck. All of these other drivers who were stuck in this winter storm reached out and grabbed a donut, and they were stuck there for hours. They couldn't move.
Right.
So everybody was getting hungry.
That was
and
nice.
He's like, hey, I got a whole load of donuts and pastries. Hope he still has a job when it's done. So let me get this straight.
Unless
First
he's
of all,
maybe he's the owner of the
you were
company.
8 hours late to deliver, and when you got there, there was nothing left? Okay. Yeah, good job. Hey, shots were fired in Caruthersville, Missouri at a Dollar General when two men got into an argument at a Dollar General. According to police, the argument at the Dollar General started over toilet paper. Really? Was it like the last roll they were both going for? I just don't understand how you'd get in an argument at any store, but especially at a Dollar General, over toilet paper that would escalate to gunshots being fired. Really? That is just ridiculous. A study by The Independent, that's a newspaper, they found young Americans spend an average of 6 hours per day stressed out. So calm down, youngsters. Young Americans, don't be stressed. Wait till you get older. There's plenty of time for stress
there's
then.
plenty of stress to go around later on.
Yeah, so just calm down right now. When somebody sends you a message, if you don't respond right away, it's okay. It's going to be fine. So I don't understand why They're so stressed out. 6 hours a day, stressed out. How many hours a day do you spend stressed out, Heidi?
Oh, my God.
23 and a half, I think is the answer.
The only time I'm not stressed is probably the 2 hours I actually find any sleep.
She finally got some sleep. And then I just let her sleep. I'm like, I'm not going to wake her. I know she's going to be late for like 8 things, but I'm going to let her sleep in. She's my wife. That's how I know what. Anyway, going to move on. 3 armed gunmen tried to rob a Philadelphia Pizza Hut only to get beaten up by the store manager. So 3 armed guys got beat up by 1 store manager. I would like to see a movie about that. That manager.
Too.
Now, he's probably going to get in trouble because they're not supposed to do that. But
Right.
he beat the snot out of these dudes.
Good for him.
Vladimir Putin is in the news. He says Russia has developed a nuclear missile that cannot be stopped by any anti-defense defense systems, although international experts are skeptical. So that's not good.
No.
So he's saying, hey, I got this new missile that can't be stopped by your missiles, so you guys better be nice. I don't know. That doesn't sound good at all. And here's some good news. It's not good enough good news to
This is exactly why I don't have a problem being friends with Russia.
Yeah, I think we should all be friends no matter what.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, not at all. Hey, KFC. Remember we talked about this where they ran out of chicken in the United Kingdom?
So and then they ran out of gravy.
They had to shut things down. Well, you're stealing my story,
I'm
Heidi.
sorry.
Good news.
They need to get their stuff together. It's like they don't know what they're doing.
Well, it's not United UKFC. It's KFC. So they just don't know how they do it here in Kentucky. So they're like, I don't know how they do it. Apparently, it's something to do with chickens and maybe some gravy. We don't know. We're just winging it.
Oh, my God.
KFC has reopened the restaurants, though, in Great Britain after they had the chicken shortage last week, but now they are out of gravy. So that was the story.
I don't know why they don't know what they're doing.
I don't know. They didn't open the manual. I have no clue. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio really works. That's a pretty bold statement, but it's true. If you advertise on the radio the right way, you'll see results. I've said for years, advertising costs money, but effective advertising makes money. The only difference between spending money and making money is that one word, effective. Let us help you make your advertising more effective. Learn more at RadioReallyWorks.com. We do radio jingles and creative ads to help you get better results with the money you're already spending. Hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. I know we had the Olympics last month, and still a lot of folks are super excited about that, but there's another Olympics that's coming up. It's the Paralympics, and we've got an Olympian, Mike Schultz, who's joining us on the line right now. Mike, how are you, sir?
Hey, doing excellent. Looking forward to the upcoming games for sure.
Well, we're super excited for you. Now, let's talk about how you got involved in this.
Yeah. So I got into it right after the last Paralympic Games that were in Sochi in 2014. And my background is motorsports. Raced snowcross professionally and was injured. And then, I took up snowboarding in like 2011, 12 to work on my prosthetic equipment. And it's been quite an adventure from there to here where we are.
And over the last 10 years, like you said, quite an adventure. Let's talk about what led to the incident where you became a Paralympian.
During a snowcross competition in Upper Michigan, I was injured, and the doctors did what they could. I had a really bad knee injury, and kind of a long story short, they did a handful of surgeries, and they were unable to repair due to circulation problems and nerve damage, and I became an above-knee amputee in December 2008, and definitely threw me and my family into a whirlwind, kind of unsure what was next.
And the thing that's amazing, there are some people who go through an experience like that, and they kind of consider that the end. And for you, you said, no, this is only the beginning. Let's talk about what you did from that accident over the last 10 years.
Yeah. Oh, man, how much time do we have? Initially it was all about me getting healthy again and, being mobile. But after a month or two of being back home, I realized, I don't want to sit around. I want to continue to try and do what I enjoy doing, and I got back on my snowmobile later that spring, and then the following summer got back on my dirt bike. But what really had to happen for me to do that is I needed to come up with some better prosthetic equipment. the available equipment that I was wearing just, it worked okay for walking around and regular mobility, but to get back into the high impact sports, there's just nothing that worked the way I wanted it to. And me being the kind of guy that I am, I'm a garage guy, I'm a problem solver, and I set out to design a better prosthetic leg for getting back into action.
It helps not only you but other people too. So thank you for doing that.
Oh yeah. It's initially it was for me, and then when I saw a bunch of other adaptive athletes using everyday equipment to do the sports, I'm like, wow, there's an opportunity here to help out a bunch of others, and hopefully build a business around it. Since I kind of needed a plan B. I wasn't sure I'd be an athlete anymore, but the ball really got rolling, and I started my company BioAdapt in 2010, and now all of the U.S. para snowboard athletes are using my Moto Knee and VersaFoot, along with a handful of other competitors around the world. So it's just been extremely rewarding for me as a business owner, but also as an athlete. I mean, I've got some really great equipment to use that has launched me into the sport of snowboarding, and here I am on my way to the Paralympic Games coming up.
What is it like to be on Team Kellogg and be competing in 2018 here for the United States? It's got to feel really good.
Oh man, it's so big. Like, in the past, racing on teams, it's neat being part of a team. And right now, being part of Team USA, I mean, that trumps everything in my book. And some of the greatest things about it is being teamed up with Kellogg's. And I remember growing up and seeing other Olympians being on cereal boxes, and now I'm one of them. And it's like, I walking through the grocery stores with my wife and daughter Lauren, and seeing me on the cover of the Frosted Flakes box, like, wow, that's kind of neat.
That is very cool. Again, visiting right now with Mike Schultz, and he'll be competing next week at the Paralympics in Pyongyang. I always wonder if I say that right. I've heard it said like 12 different ways, but I'm excited for you to be there and competing for the United States. For people who need a little inspiration in their life, I got to just say you are an inspiration, because you've gone through some traumatic things and you've decided that, hey, it's not the end, this is the beginning. So I'm excited for you. What advice do you give people who maybe they're going through something in their own life right now and they're struggling with it? What kind of advice do you have for them?
My biggest advice is to really find something that makes you happy and worthwhile, and something that makes you look forward to the next day, and then just put all you got into it. Charge for it. Challenge yourself. See what you're capable of. And I tell you what, the harder you have to work for something, the better it feels when you finally reach that goal. So, I challenge you guys to go out there and set some goals and really go after them.
Mike, if folks would like to find you online, is there a place to follow you as we watch you compete next week?
Yeah, you can find me and the rest of the Kellogg's team on Twitter, Kellogg'sUS, and then definitely check out #GetsMeStarted. And then, obviously I've got my own social media pages as well, Monster Mike Schultz. Keep tabs on me as I go through this incredible adventure.
Well, we're going to throw a link on our social media to make it easy to find you, and you've got more folks cheering for you than you realize. There's a lot of us out there rooting for you, bud.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. It's going to be a blast.
Again, Mike Schultz, and you can be watching him next week if you want to check it out on the Olympics. He'll be the Paralympics. He'll be competing next week. And again, I've got a link to the social media to find him and to follow them at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The spikes at the end of the stegosaurus tail are known among paleontologists as the thagomizer.
Really?
That is a term, by the way, coined by cartoonist Gary Larson in a 1982 Far Side drawing.
Oh, I loved the Far Side.
The thagomizer. I think that's really cool that he got to name those.
Yeah,
I want to name
cool.
something now. What can we name?
I don't know.
Let's come up with something that we can name. We're not nearly as cool as Gary Larson, but we're still kind of on the cool scale. Just above the 0, at least. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
I almost forgot how we do this program. During World War II, the crew of a British submarine, the HMS Trident, kept a fully grown reindeer named Pollyanna aboard their vessel for 6 weeks.
Why?
It was a gift from Russia, and they didn't know what else to do with it.
Oh.
They're like, well, we have this reindeer. What should we do with this? I don't know. Keep it in the submarine, apparently. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The northern leopard frog swallows its prey using its eyes and then uses their eyes to push the food down its throat by retracting them into their head.
What?
Yeah. So instead of like grabbing something with their hand, they grab it with their eyes and stuff it down their
Ew.
throat. That's the northern leopard frog. Couple of fun facts right there, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now a breakthrough, safe and natural, non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which makes you happier. Just by drinking this special cup of coffee, many reported elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and I like this one because sometimes I feel like I am one of these. Your grandiloquent word today, Heidi, is a breed bait.
Okay.
Breed bait.
Breed bait.
Do you think you're a breed bait before I tell you what it is?
I don't know.
Let me tell you what it is. Breed bait, B-R-E-E-D-B-A-T-E. Breed bait is a noun. It is one who breeds or originates quarrels. So if you like to start a little fight here and there, you're breed bait.
Yeah,
I don't start fights like physical fights, but I like to argue from time to time. And it's not because I really like to argue. I just think that I was right about something and they were wrong. And I'll say, well, I don't know if you're quite right about that. And then I'll share my opinion, which is typically based on a fact that is correct. And then we have a little quarrel. So I didn't know, but in the future, I'll say, I'm really sorry. I'm a bit of a breed bait.
Yeah.
We'll see if that helps.
There you
Probably not. It's usually my son, by the way, that I argue with.
Yes.
And he thinks he's right, and I think I'm right. And
You
then
both
he
think you're always right.
pulls out Google from his pocket and tries to prove me right or prove me wrong. And sometimes he wins and sometimes I win. But usually neither of us win. All right. This has been your grandiloquent word of the day.
John and Heidi.
You can go to college without student loans. Do you have a kid in 11th or 12th grade or in college? Let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstein, and I earned my undergraduate degree from the University of Texas and my master's from Prescott College with no loans. And I was an all-around average student. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. Take my first course for free that walks you through my journey by going to LearnWithoutLoans.com.
Time now for some weird news, and the weird news comes your way courtesy of firstcupisfree.com. This weird news was sent to me, Heidi. They said you guys talked a little bit about this, but here's the rest of the story. Dumb phone models hope to battle social media addiction. So we talked about that people are using
their smartphones too much.
Yeah, and there's fewer, or some people are saying, I don't want a smartphone anymore. I was actually at an event where there was a gentleman who was struggling with some of the things, the addiction that he was struggling with, and he said, I don't want access to all of that on my phone. I just want a phone.
Right.
So he wanted to get away from all the social media. Anyway, for whatever reason, you happen to be maybe saying, I don't know if I need the whole world in my pocket. Maybe this is for you. Returning back to the roots of an original cell phone, the basic texting and phone calls and alarm clock features are what you're going to find on Light Phone 2. And it's in high demand for those who want to return to simpler times. Researchers have studied the effects of connectivity as well as digital and social media addictions, and that is the reason why this phone was released. The phone has no distractions, no apps, no web browsing capability. It helps you stay focused on the present moment without all the distractions that other smartphones can cause.
That's nice.
The Light Phone 2 is a crowd-funded project, cost $250, offered at an early bird rate from the $400 original price. The device will be available in April of next year. So far, 1,000 people have ordered the phone. The original Light Phone, which was released in 2015, was purchased by about 10,000 people. I've got a link to the story, by the way.
So
it's a neat idea.
Is it regular texting like what we have now, or
Yeah.
is it texting where it's like you have to push the 7 4 times? And
I don't know. I don't know if there's
because
like a
I wouldn't
keypad.
want to go back to that. But
It
if
looks
was-
like, honestly, it looks like a remote control to me. It doesn't look like a phone.
Oh, really?
I'll show you the link here. This is your weird news brought to you by firstcupIsFree.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. 34-year-old Canadian man by the name of Mike Delahut usually used an unusual means of escape, and that drew some attention. He eventually gave up. Police arrested him. He was very upset. He angrily destroyed some of his girlfriend's stuff during a fight, and then he fled the scene by jumping on a big chunk of ice that was floating down the river. And he floated away. That drew quite a bit of attention. Some witnesses called the police. He was eventually rescued. He gave up and went on to shore. He was arrested on 6 charges, including assault and probation violation. So that is a bizarre story. Where did he go? Did he run off? No, he jumped on a giant ice
cube. It couldn't have been
cube.
moving that fast.
No. I don't
funny.
know what his plan was. I don't think he really had a plan. All right. This has been your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough, available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
We've got some good news to get to, but first, take a listen to this. This is kind of bizarre. HUD Secretary, that's Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Ben Carson, which I really always liked Ben
love
Carson.
Ben.
He was recently redecorating his office. They had a budget of $5,000 to redecorate the office, but somehow they spent $31,000 on a table, one table.
Whoa.
What in the world kind of table would that be? Does that sound kind of crazy to you?
Yeah, it does. And
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't
just-
sound like Ben Carson either.
I wonder what's going on
It's
there.
pretty frugal.
So, yes, $31,000 on a table. So, I'm going to have to check into that and see. It must be one heck of a nice table. All right, coming up, we've got good news to get to. That's on the way. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I got some darn good news here from Odiva, the monthly subscription service for ladies' monthly visitor. More information at radiosavings.com. You would not believe the number of questions I get about that, by the way.
About Odiva?
Yeah, they're always asking me. I'm like, I'm not an expert. I don't know what that is or how that works. I just info on the website. But I have people all the time asking me about that, like it was my idea. Oh, that's right. It kind of was. Remember that? I had that idea, and my wife over here said it was a terrible idea. Well, now somebody else did it, and they're a sponsor on our program. You ready for a good news story over here?
I am ready.
All right. Man uses his Jeep to save 2 people trapped by a burning car. That's quite the headline, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That would be scary. Absolutely would be scary. So a man is cruising down the road. He sees 2 cars. I'm looking at the images on here. Ralph Giles is being hailed as a hero. His quick thinking helped him save 2 automobile passengers who were trapped by a burning car. During the wee hours of a morning back in February, he was in Michigan, and a Ford Fiesta was hit head-on by a Ford Edge that had drifted off the center line of the road. And he was cruising home from an event in his Jeep Wrangler and has spotted this collision. They dialed 911, his wife did, while he attempted to help the people out of the car. To his dismay, the doors wouldn't open. He decided to move his Jeep out of the way. As he was doing this, a LeSabre that had been driving through the darkness collided with the Festiva again and pushed it into the Edge, causing the engine to catch fire. So now he knew, okay, I got to act fast, and he did. He said, I have no idea where the thought came from. The only thing I can remember is I've got a Jeep. It's got a bumper on it. I think maybe I could just hook onto there and yank this while these people are still alive, and he did. They were able to rescue the people. He says, I am not a hero. I think most people would have tried to help somehow, he wrote on his Instagram page. What ultimately turned out to be a 2-hour ordeal for us as we filled out police reports gave us a unique view of the whole process. It made us appreciate the true heroes, the first responders, the firemen and women, EMS, and the police who deal with this stuff every day, end quote. And there's a clip here.
Very well said.
It says there's a clip of the crash scene below.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to click on that when I have a second here. Quite a story.
It is.
So I've got a
And
link
he
to
is
all
a
of that.
hero.
Yeah, I think so too. And we have a favorite comedian that talks about how
You're not allowed to say you're a
You're
hero.
not supposed to say, yes, I am a hero. They always have to say, do you think you're a hero?
No.
You have to say, no, I'm not a hero. But you are a hero. All right. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. I've got a link to the story about the hero on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.